Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a plant tour of all 57 of my plants. I have a lot of plant tours today, so I just thought I would kind of go on a tour of all of those plants. This is our bedroom. I don't have a lot of plants in here. That's a lie, I do. I recently just kind of switched up where my plants live. So I have plants back on this shelf and over by our window. So I thought I would start in here. Over here is my little rubber tree. I got this off of Etsy last year. It was doing fine, and then I accidentally broke off this top leaf here, so I'm not really sure if it's gonna keep on growing or what's gonna happen. So I guess I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time to see. The growth has been really stagnant so far, but I'm hoping it can kind of get rehabbed and grow some more. I put some DE in a lot of my plants a while ago just because I had some bug problems. So that's what that white stuff is gonna be. So I have named a majority of my plants. This one is Egg or Anne. If you've seen Arrested Development, which I love, that's what that name reference is for. Over here is my almost dying little philodendron heartleaf. It was doing great for a long time, and then now it's not, so I might have to repot it. I'm not sure if this pot is too big for it, but that's probably what's gonna happen. It's a viney one, and I never really know how to repot viney plants. I used to have a string of pearls. I'm never doing that again because I just didn't know how to deal with it, but I'm hoping that this one little Cora comes back to life. Otherwise I might need to rehab that one a little bit. This one is my little watermelon peperonia. This is Constance. There's a theme going on with all of my peperonia plants. This one's fairly new. I got it last month. I've never really had one of these, but I love the leaf detail on it. So I'm really excited to kind of see how this grows and what happens to it and all that. And this little dying bitch right here, I'm sorry for my language. I just really have so much beef with this plant. So this is Blue. Blue is a trio star. I've owned a trio star in the past. I always kill it, and I'm not really sure what the curling leaves are for. I know they're very finicky plants, but I really thought I'd keep this one alive. I've moved it. I've given it moisture. I've given it humidity. I don't really know what's wrong. So I might have to kind of do some deep diving investigation and find out. So if anybody has any tips for me, please let me know, because it's beautiful and it's pink, which is one of my favorite colors in plants. So I'm just really hoping I can bring this little one to life. And then next to it, I'm really excited about the one. This one is a magic star, I believe. And it's kind of like the trio star, except this one has all the little flakes, little specks and flecks on it, and it's so beautiful. We got this little half almost pink leaf, and I'm really hoping I can keep this one alive because it's beautiful and I love it so much. I've placed them in our east-facing window in our bedroom just because I saw that they like lots of plants, and so I'm hoping that once the sun comes back again, it'll give this little one a lot of light. I haven't named it yet. I was isolating it for a little bit just in case it had bugs, but I'm kind of hoping it does really well because I just love the details of these leaves. I have some things that I'm propping, a lot of little leaves. So those I'm probably not going to talk about just because they're not full plants. But then over here, we got my little Birkin. This one has been doing really well for me. It's been growing really well. I've got new leaves right here. This little one over here as well. That wants to, right here, that wants to come out. This poor little leaf. But I think for the most part, this one has been going well. I haven't really done much to it. I just kind of leave it in the window or give it some sunshine, and then I mist it once in a while and then water it. But this one has been one that I haven't had to do too much of, but I'm hoping that it has a great life and that it keeps on growing some more. I love these little details on the leaves, as everybody does. So I'm hoping I can get back some of that variegation into it. So that was the window sill part. I have a couple of plants there, and then I have this shelf behind me, and then some on our dresser. So this is my snake plant. I propped this from one leaf, I believe. It's not growing as fast as I would like it to. I had it in a pot, and then one of my dogs kind of plucked it out of its pot. So I had to put it back in water, wait for it to grow, and then replanted it. And it's got little babies growing, and then I made another leaf from it. I have it kind of propped up in that little jar down there. But I'm hoping that this can kind of keep on growing and come back to life. I've killed a snake plant before, which I know is really hard to do. So hopefully little Mal comes back to life over here. This is our Thai constellation. So beautiful. It's been growing a little small. There's a new leaf here that's kind of been fighting to come out, but it's beautiful. I named it Astrius, who was a god of stars, just because I was like, ooh, constellation. And I also love Greek mythology. So this one we share with my sister-in-law. All three of us kind of chipped in because it was really expensive, and it seems to be doing well so far. This was one of the newest leaves, so I'm kind of hoping that it keeps on growing bigger, and I plan on getting a humidifier in here because I know they need lots of humidity. So I'm hoping that all the plants that I have in here can just kind of keep thriving. But you know, he's beautiful. Look at all these leaves, get the details, and I just love it so much. And then over here, this is Appa. Appa is our monstera. I've propped Appa many times just because he just keeps on growing. He's really big. We've given him a moss pole. We've had him for almost a year now, and I've got little things in here to kind of help his leaves not be so droopy. We did just repot him, so I think he's just getting used to this pot. But he's a gorgeous little baby, and he usually moves around. Sometimes I moved him from the living room to here, so once this couch gets out of here, I'll put him back in his pot. But otherwise, he seems pretty happy. This is my Calathea beauty star. This is Noah. Noah is named after one of my favorite books by Jandy Nelson. It is called I'll Give You the Sun, and it's a very beautiful written book. So I thought I would name these two after the characters, because the characters were twins. So this is Noah, who's the beauty star, and then Jude over here is that Calathea ornata. The beauty star doesn't have as pink of the lines as the ornata does. So it's just kind of like green and a little faint, but it's still beautiful and I love it. I've had a couple of these in the past and they haven't done well. So I'm hoping that these ones do a whole lot better. This is my recent plant shelf. I used to have books on this shelf, but then I kind of decided to move those books into the closet and have this. On top, I have my little satin Pothos that I haven't named yet. And then I have this little caladium up here. I don't really know how to deal with caladiums, but I just thought it was pretty. So hopefully I keep that one alive. And then here are all of Appa's babies that are being propped. And then this is my Monstera Addisonia. I think this is a narrow leaf ones. It's doing well. I might have to repot it soon. It has some yellow leaves, but I just haven't been doing too much to it. I've been watering it. It's still in its nursery pot, keeping it up here. Sorry, that was like not even at the... So hopefully it survives and does a good job. This right here is my little lacy tree, I think, but I think it's just a baby Xanadu. And I have another bigger one in there. So if anybody knows if this is not a Xanadu or not, just let me know. I haven't named this one yet, so it's just kind of sitting here. And then I have another a little monkey mask right here. And I have two of these. Also, just kidding. I have named this one. This one is yellow. I named it after the man in the yellow hat from Curious George, because I have another one of these that's named George. A lot of my names kind of have group names, but this one I haven't named. It's been doing kind of well. I haven't really had to do much to it. I've got a new little leaf here, one there. Wow, I didn't know it had so many leaves, and one right here. So I kind of leave it here and it seems to be doing well. And then I have this Philodendron Gigantium. I'd never heard of it. I bought it at a local nursery and then I looked it up online and it looked beautiful when it gets bigger. So I'm kind of hoping this will survive long enough to get that size. And then a lot of Calythias in here. I absolutely love Calythias. They don't love me, but I will go through those Calythias. This is my Calythia Maui queen. This is my first time owning a Calythia like this. I just really love the pattern that it has, and it's not as like showy as all the other Calythias that I have. And it's got these really long stems, and then I have a new leaf here. I didn't see that. So hopefully, like I said, Calythias don't love me, so I'm hoping that this can survive. Most of my Calythias are named after the Charlie's Angels movies, and I know that the other one, the newest one, wasn't as well received. Some of my Calythias are going to be named after Charlie's Angels character, the new one, and I know people didn't like that one as much as the other one, but we just loved it so much. I like the other ones, don't get me wrong, but I really also love this one, so I thought I would name all of my Calythias after the movie. So over here, we've got my little Orbifolia. This is Saint. I've never owned one of these either, but I just love these leaves. The other thing about the Calythias that I kind of forgot about when I bought them is that they get big. So I'm kind of not ready for them to get that big. I really hope they make it there. And some of the Orbifolia leaves that I've seen are just massive, and I'm so excited to get there. Then this is a Tanatha Setosa. This is a Never Never plant. I thought that this was a Calythia, and I'm not really too sure about the whole Tanatha prayer plant Calythia families, so that always gets me confused. But this is Jane, and she's got a couple new leaves in there, so really excited to see how she does. Here is the other row. So I've got some Hoyas on this side and then some other Calythias on this side. So this is Langston, and he's a Lancifolia, and this one is a snake plant because it's got these beautiful markings and these beautiful little rattlesnake like leaves. This one also grows well, and he's been doing well. I unfortunately had an incident. A lot of my Calythias were on a shelf that I keep outside, but they all got knocked down, and one of the shelf glasses got broken, so I had to kind of rearrange my Calythias, and so I moved them on this shelf in our bedroom. I'm hoping they do well, just because a lot of them were uprooted out of their pots, so I kind of had to stuff some more dirt in them, so I'm hoping they don't get too shocked from all of that, but I think they'll do well. And then that's Jude. And then over here, we've got a little porcelain flower. That's it. So this one has these cute little flecks. I've never had a Hoya before either. I'm really excited to see how this one grows. I might put it on like a circle trellis just to have it climb around it. But I love these flakes and the little specks and the green leaves. So I'm really excited to see how that one does. And then this one is a little crimson queen. Never owned this one either, but I really love plants that have like pink colors all on them. So I'm kind of hoping this one does really well. I might also put this one on circle trellis just to have it go around it. And how cute is this tiny little leaf? Oh my goodness. But yeah, she's cute. And I don't think I've named these Hoyas yet, but I will get to that later. Down here, we have some more Calythias. This one is a Vittata. I love the green. I love the stripes on the Calythia, so I thought I would get this little green one. It's been doing well. It was also uprooted from its pot, so I hope it gets better. So I'm learning more about the Gopertia family, which is all the Calythias, just because I love them so much. So I have to do more research and kind of hope that they don't die. And then this over here is Calathea Freddy, I believe. Yes. This one is fairly new too. It's doing okay. I need to get a humidifier in here just because Calythias need a lot of humidity. So I'm planning on doing that, and I hope that it does well in this position. And then over here is my medallion, which is not doing well currently. It was doing really well before. But with the fall of the shelf, it's not looking its best. So I definitely have to watch for this one and kind of rehab it back to life. But I just love these little medallion, that's what it's called, medallion like leaves. So this is also one of my favorites, and this is Bosley. But she's going through some changes, but I'll have to kind of work on that and hope that she can get back to her beautiful self. All right, the last plants that I have in here, I have some of these propagating leaves, and then this is my begonia. I think this is, well, this is not a Lucerna. This might be a polka dot, just because I have another polka dot, but that one has the leaves that are all maroon back here. And I saw this at Lowe's, and I was just like, I have to get this. I love the polka dots that are on these leaves. This might be a witty eye, if that's how you pronounce it. But I just love these begonias. This one is the cane-like, and just it has these great silvery, glittery leaves. So I just really love it, and I hope it can do well in here. I've had a begonia before that unfortunately did not make it, but my other one, which is right there, has been doing really well. So I'm hoping that this one can do well too. That is all for the plants that I have in our room here. And then the majority of my plants are gonna be over in the living room. We have a shelf up, so that's where a majority of them are. I have that shelf over there. I used to have a lot of plants, but I moved them into the bedroom. So I only have that one. I have this one here that used to be on this little table when I move it. And then this used to have a lot of Calythias, but this one over here broke that shelf, so I had to move them around a bit. What do you have to say for yourself? But yeah, so here I just have these two tiny little money plants. I have these ones named after the Four Musketeers. And so my watermelon peperomia is named after Constance. If you've seen the Musketeers, the BBC version, that's a really great show. So this one is Athos, Porthos, and then Aramis and D'Artagnan are somewhere around here. But I just love the story, and so I decided to name all the little group after those characters. But they're so cute and they're so tiny. I prop them from their mother plant and just kind of hope they survive. This one has these little tiny babies coming in here, so I'm really excited for that. This is my Begonia Busy. Did name her after Busy Phillips just because I love her and all the shows and stuff that she does. But this one is my Maculata Begonia. It has the same silvery leaves that I love, and then the backside is that maroon color. It's been doing really well. I am so surprised, but it's gotten so much bigger, and it has all these great little babies coming out. So I'm kind of hoping that over here it'll get enough sunlight to kind of do its little growing thing. But this is definitely one of my favorites. It's so beautiful, and I just love it. Look at that leaf. Wow. Over here is Xena, my Somatophylum. I've never had one of these, and so this is a Xanadu. They have these amazing leaves, and they get really big, so I'm hoping this one will grow. It's been doing fairly well. I put it in this corner, so I'm just kind of hoping it'll get bigger and have all these wonderful, beautiful leaves. We also have an orchid that we keep on our island over there. I don't really know a lot about orchids. I've not been too successful at keeping them alive, and so I'm hoping that this one will stay healthy and keep on giving us blooms. And then these are flowers from my bouquet, and I'm just putting them in water to conserve them for a little bit, but then I will do a little saving thing or hang them upside down to dry them out. I haven't really decided. This is my plant shelf. Let me turn this off. This was where a majority of my plants were. I have a lot up on here. I have my humidifier running to kind of keep the humidity in here cool. But this is Think. Fink is my Maculata. He's been doing, let me get him over here so we can see him better. He was doing well. I bought him when he was a little smaller than this, but he's been growing really well. Right now his leaves are a little curled, so I'm thinking he's getting not enough humidity, or maybe I'm just overwatering him a lot because it's usually hard to tell. And I have been unfortunately moving him around just to get the feel of the space some more, so I don't think he's been liking the moving around. So I'm hoping I can dust off his leaves, give him some humidity, and kind of prop him back up on the shelf and see how he does. But Fink is also one of my favorites. As for the name, it is the name of an artist who sings a song Looking Too Closely. The artist's name is Fink, and it's one of my favorite songs. So I just thought I'd give him that name. It's very fitting. He's very peacocky. That's the name, the peacock plant. And he's kind of spread his little feathers and leaves all over the place. So I'm really excited to see how big this one gets. This is Zelda. Zelda is a little Dracaena. I don't have a lot of them, or do I know how to take care of them, but I got this one as a gift from my boss at the store that I work at, and she's been doing really well. I don't really do a lot to her, so I'm kind of hoping to leave her in her little corner and see how well she does. This is a little Monstera leaf that I propped from Appa, and I'm gonna give it to my friend as a wedding present, so I'm just kind of keeping it and growing it to give her that. And then I have some more money plants over here. This one is going to be D'Artagnan. And then I have one over here, and that's Aramis. Aramis just had some babies fall out this morning, so I put them in here and kind of hope that would give me more babies. This is one of my new rubber plants. This one is Ruby. Nope, this is Dorothy. I named her Dorothy because it's a Tanaka ruby, and you know, the ruby slipper is from Wizard of Oz, and then Dorothy. So yeah, that's that. And then I have this tiny little, oops. Then I have this tiny little, I live in America, by the way, but my friend gave me this patch and I really love it, so I just thought I'd display it. This is my little prayer plant. It was really small when I got this. It was supposed to be a terrarium plant, but I want to see how big I can get it. And it's been getting really big, so I just kind of keep it on this shelf. Give it some light and humidity, and I hope it can grow bigger. And then over here, this is my other Addisonia. This is George, Curious George, and the yellow is in the bedroom. He hasn't been doing too well, so I've had to cut off a couple leaves, but he's got this new little leaf growing back over here, so I hope he does well. This is my Poly Amazonica. I have two of them. One's up there. So this is Hippolyta, and that's Diana over here from the Amazons and Greek mythology. I like Greek mythology, so a lot of my plants are going to be named after that. I've had them before, but they always get pests and they always die, and I thought it was my fault, but they're just pesty little plants and they always have bugs, so I'm trying to see if they survived. So I've been spraying them down with some neem oil and kind of looking them over. Right now we do have some bugs flying around, so I'm guessing they're coming from that, so I'm hoping that they don't die this time around. And then here is my other rubber tree. This one is also fairly new. I haven't named this one yet. I think I got this one from Lowe's as well, maybe, but this leaf is so huge and it's beautiful and it's giving me a little new leaf. So I'm hoping that this one does well too. On this bottom shelf is this little Lucerna Begonia that I got from a shop for like $5. And I'm hoping that I can bring it back to life because it's so beautiful. So I've just been keeping it under the grow light and misting it once in a while. And it's been giving me a lot of growth. It also has this new little leaf that's about to pop out. So I'm really excited for what this will look like when it's bigger. And then over here is Aphrodite. And she is an alocasia bambino with a little arrow, and so I was like, oh, arrows, Aphrodite, you know, goddess of love, even though she doesn't have the arrows the same way that Cupid does. But yeah, I love alocasias now. I do, and I'm really excited to kind of see how this one grows, just because I've never had this one before. Almost done. I'm so tired. So This is Demeter, and Demeter is a giant taro. Yes, or it might be another one. I'm not sure. I still have to kind of do more research on that, but I have Planta and it told me that it's a giant taro, so I'm hoping it's correct. But this one has also been doing well. I got it when it wasn't doing the hottest. My friend gave it to me for free and I was like, ooh, exciting. And apparently they do this thing where when they're putting out new leaves, they drop one leaf just because they can't have too many leaves at once. So she's been dropping a couple leaves and I just cut them off and then new leaves grow. But I'm really excited to see this one get bigger too. Another poly, another money plant, and then that's gonna be all that I have on this shelf. And then the last couple of plants are gonna be over at that window over there, and then one up there too. Honorable mentions are this little graveyard that I have. I'm not sure if I killed a spider plant, which is really hard, but these are kind of plants that are dead that might come back to life. So I just kind of keep them on this window. And then these are some peppers that I grew from seed. So I'm hoping those get pretty big as well. And then over there, I have amicans. I've never had one before, but I'm kind of hoping to keep it alive. And then the other plants on here are not mine. They're hers. But yeah, I just decided to put my micans up on this shelf of hers just because it's beautiful and I'm kind of hoping it'll vine down. But yeah. And then I have this mini monstera over here. I gave it a little trellis for it to climb up. I've never had one before, but it's just so adorable and I'm really happy. I had a name for it, but I kind of forgot it, so I might have to rename it, but it's been giving me some really cool leaves. So I'm hoping as it like grows and gets bigger, it'll just keep on vining and doing its thing. And then over here, I have a dead trio star that I hope will come back to life. And then I just have this little tiny air plant that I got from somebody on Facebook. It's also been giving, I think it is also an alocasia, but I'm not sure. But I just really like the way it looks and it's been growing really well. And is that a little node? I don't know how these grow, but it looks like a little node right there. But if anybody has any tips for this, please let me know. And then it's got a new little baby leaf there. And then this is my partner's Pothos. She wanted her own and she liked this little marble queen look, so she got that one. And then I have this my own Pothos, the golden Pothos. I got this from my school. It was in the office and it was dying, and so I tried to save it and I propped a couple leaves, put it in water for like a year or so, and it's been giving me some really great leaves and it's doing so well and growing really fast, and I'm really happy. And then we have some little green onions that we grow over here. We've just been regrowing them and snipping them as we go. And then I have strawberries up there that we're trying to grow, but that's it for the plants on the inside. And then I have a couple plants on our outside balcony. It's really loud up here because of the cars, so I'll try to be a little louder. I have some vegetables that we've been trying to grow. We have some strawberries, some carrots, some lettuce that's not been doing too hot, but you know, it's regrowing back, so really excited for that. I have another Begonia Lucerna here that I bought on Facebook. It's been doing really well. It's been giving me some new leaves. I just love the begonia look. Oh, it has another little leaf growing here. So I'm really excited about this one. And then just a dry bouquet that I made. And then over here, I got my, excuse me, Nelly. I got my aloe vera over here. I wanted one for like my hair or any face things. It's doing well. It wasn't before, but now it's kind of getting bigger, so I'm really excited to see how that gets. And then I just keep them on our balcony. It's getting a little warm out here, so I just thought I'd put it out here. And then this is my lemon tree, which I'm so excited for. I love lemons. They're one of my favorite prints and beverages. So I thought I'd get myself a little lemon tree for our balcony. It's growing very slowly, so I'm kind of really excited to see how this goes. This pot might be too big for it, but I'm really not sure. I watched a video and it said that it needed like a pot where it could like spread its roots and all that, so I'm just hoping it gets bigger. Otherwise, I'm so excited for it. So that is all my plants that I have. I have 57. I just got one more Calythia, a Majestica. I'm really excited for it. It's always been sold out when I check back on the website. So that should be coming in this week, but that is all my plants. And now I have to go water about 50 plants. So thank you for watching.